The Jimmy Dean Show.
Well, won't you come home, Bill Bailey? Or won't you come home? She mourns the whole day long. I'll do them dishes, honey. I'm gonna pay the rent. I know I done you wrong. Remember that rainy evening when I soaked you out. Another fine to come. Well, I know that I'm to blame now, honey. And a shame. Baby, won't you please come home? Y'all enjoy it. Yeah. Won't you please come home, trot on home, Willie? Still baby, come on Peter, you sound very, very good tonight. And a very pleasant good evening to you. Welcome to our show. We're delighted that you joined us for our first show on ABC. If I said I wasn't nervous, I'd be the biggest liar on the face of this earth. You know, well, they say honest confession is good for the soul. It's good to have a big orchestra like Peter Matz in the group and all this fancy setting and everything. But if you'll forgive me for a minute, there's some folks down around Washington, D.C. that used to watch me on WMAL TV. With all this, they ain't gonna even know who it is. So, would you bring in the old... kind of squeaked on the way in, didn't it? I would like to invite a couple of fellas out here that I used to work with down there. Their names are Buck Ryan and Smitty Irvin, and we'd like you to say howdy to them. Now, Dale,
Yeah.
you give us kind of a WMAL introduction, and we'll do it like we used to do it, all right?
Why, sure. Howdy, folks. Welcome to the Jimmy Dean Show.
Riding down Santa Fe, soon I hit the valley, then I'm on my way. See that sun sinking low in the west, on the trail I'm loving the best. Here we go, my open door, gonna see a preacher by the gown. Riding down Santa Fe, riding down Santa Fe. Hey, riding down Santa Fe.
kind of get this beat going, young'uns, we'll take this time to introduce you to some fine people that are very good friends of mine, and I think in the weeks to come they'll become friends of yours. These are our singers. That's pretty jazzy. The guy waving his hand, by the way, is Chuck Cassie. And these are our dancers. They take off like a herd of turtles, don't they? I'll tell you that. I'm going to be doing quite a bit of singing with the singers.
Yes, indeed, oh, yes, yes, indeed.
And as for you dancers, forget it. I take the worst boot in the world. You can sit. And in our singing group, we have a bass, and his name is Ken Bridges.
Boom, 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 boom.
He also boom, boom, booms a whole lot. Time. And we have a tenor back here. His name is Bill Elliott. That's hiring a cat's back. And we have one more fellow that used to work on the old daytime show with me, an old buddy, Bob McCullough. And they left just room for us, Bob. When you go tulip, a big yellow tulip, and I wore a big red robe. That's lovely. Doesn't that grab you, friend? Ring-a-ding-a-ding. I know you. You're the little girl that was in rehearsal that had the pigtails and the glasses and the freckles, right?
That's right.
Boy, you've been in rehearsal a long time. Well, you must have been a beautiful baby. You must have been a beautiful child.
When I was only starting to go to kindergarten.
Yeah, I bet you drove them young'uns nuts. And she's doing a pretty good job with the grown-ups around here. She's got the band tore up like a patch of new ground. You better mail the freckles back to Knoxville, huh? Great hell! What kind of music do you sing, Liz? Boy, you got the wrong show. Young'uns, you want to come on and join me, and we'll do something that I know something about. It's not opera, that's the thing. Chuck, you ready?
Big John, Big John.
Every morning it's mine. They survive, and they're 6'6", weighing 245, kind of broad at the shoulder and narrow at the hip. Everybody knew you didn't give no lip to Big John. Ready? Big John, Big John, a big bad John. Big John. Nobody seemed to know where John called home. He just drifted into town and stayed all alone. He didn't say much. He's kind of quiet and shy. And if you spoke at all, he just said hi to Big John. Somebody said he came from New Orleans, where he got in a fight over a Cajun queen, and a crashing blow from a huge right hand sent a Louisiana fella to the promised land. Big John. Big John. Big John. A big John. Big John. Then came the day at the bottom of the mine when a timber cracked and men started crying. Miners were afraid and hearts beat fast, and everybody thought that they'd breathe their last, said John. Through the dust and the smoke of this man-made hell walked a giant of a man that the miners knew well, grabbed a sagging timber and gave out with a groan, and like a giant of a tree just stood there alone. Big John. Big John. Big He gave a mighty shove, then a miner yelled out, "There's a light up above," and 20 men scrambled from a would-be grave. Now there's only one left down there to save Big John. With jacks and timbers, they started back down, and came that rumble way down in the ground, and the smoke and gas belched out of that mine. Everybody knew it was the end of the line for Big John. Big John, Big John, a big bad John. Big John. Now they never reopened that worthless pit. They just placed a marble stand in front of it. These few words are written on that stand. At the bottom of this mine lies a big, big man. Big John. Big John. Big John. A big bad John. Big John. Big John. A big bad John. Thank you. Forgive me. We made a change there a minute ago you wouldn't believe, and part of the undershirt showing. Well, anyhow, we'll be back in just a minute after the station break with something I wanted to tell you about. We're going to have Whitey Ford with us. Of course, you'll be seeing Dick Shawn again. And we have an amazing fella from Bedrock, and his name is Fred Flintstone. Now, there are 3 grubby-fisted Dean young'uns sitting out in Jersey that don't believe this at all. I've told them all week they don't believe it. So, you watching, kids? I want to bring him out here. Fred Flintstone. Fred? Fred, come on. Fred and I have something very special for you in just a minute, but right now, Fred, I think we... Where'd you go? You better leave.
Once again, here's Jimmy.
This being our very first show, well, where is it, horse? I know I got to stand in the proper place. Which one? I'm on it. Thank you very much. Running around like a blind dog in a meat house. All right, here we are. Now we'll proceed from where we was a while ago, wherever that was. Anyhow, as I started to say, this being our first show, we naturally wanted a very special guest. Well, we looked around, and there's one fella in the business who's probably as big a star as I know. He's got a big TV show of his own, and yet he has never made an appearance on any other show but his own. So, we figured, why not ask him? And we did, and he consented to be on our show, and he turned out to be one of the funniest, most delightful, charming guys that I know. He's from a place called Bedrock, and it's Mr. Fred Flintstone. Here he is. Fred. There you are. Fred, it's a pleasure to have you with us, and I don't know if you know it or not, but I'm a big fan of yours, old buddy.
Thanks, Jimmy.
How things in Bedrock?
Great, Jimmy.
Good.
Great.
Good.
Everybody's watching back there.
Fine.
Hi, Wilbur. Hi, Betty. Hiya, Barney, old pal. Hello, Pebble.
Ah, it's that.
No, Barney, I wasn't going to be on this show.
Really?
Better have that $5 ready for me, Barney, old buddy.
Now, I've been in there. How in the heck do you do that, Fred?
Do what?
You know that business, the way you went up in the air and the way you came in here. How do you do it?
Oh, you mean this?
Yeah, how do you do that?
Everybody?
Golly, I can't.
And you can't do this either?
All right, I can't do that either.
How did you ever get a show of your own? want you to be a guest on my show, but if you can't do anything.
Well, then I sing and dance a little, Fred.
Oh, well, then we can do a song and dance together.
You sing and dance?
Are you kidding? Before I did the Flintstones on television, I was in vaudeville.
Really?
We had a great team. Flintstone and Hound.
Hound?
Huckleberry Hound. He was a great hooker, but he got hooked on bones and ruined his career.
I'm sorry to hear that, Fred.
Yabba-dabba-doo.
Now, there's another thing. What do you mean by this, yubba-dubba-doo business you're always doing?
Why, it's part of my image.
Oh.
Just a little personality expression.
I see. Thank you very much, Fred. What are you going to do now,
I'm
boy?
going backstage and rest on my dinosaur.
I see.
That singing takes it out of you. Yabba-dabba-doo. Yabba-dabba-doo.
Bye. Bye, Fred. Thank you. Thank you, Fred. We'll be back with some more show in just a minute.
It's your daily life has been so busy. Keeping up with things has got you dizzy. Just take a moment or two and find out what's new.
I guess everybody is too busy nowadays to keep up with all the headlines. They may read the headlines, but they won't see some of the little things that are happening. So we thought that we'd kind of keep you up to date on some of the little things that are happening. This person kills me. Now, it was last week that a news item came out. This is true. Last week it came out, President Kennedy says that married men are exempt from the draft. Now, this week, the papers state that the number of marriage licenses issued have doubled. There couldn't be any connection there whatsoever. That's jumping out of the frying pan and into the fire, I'll tell you that right quick. Now then, I got something else. Wait a minute. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this is it. This you ain't gonna believe. They've got a new deck of playing cards. And the only difference in them is the fact that they got all the Kennedy family as face cards. See there? And they got LBJ there, too. He's in the bunch. There, you see. That'd be a heck of a thing, wouldn't it? Be playing poker and somebody say, well, you got to have Kennedys are better or Peter Lawford's wild or something. And there's a new game that you play with these cards. It's called 52 Pickup. There's a new dance craze that's going on in England, and it's called the Prince Philip Waltz. And it's a very simple thing to do, really. All you do simply, Bean, is clasp your hands behind you. Assume sort of a deadpan expression, and I believe they say twitch. Heavens to Betsy. And we thought that would be right up Dick Shawn's alley, so here is Dick Shawn and Prince Philip 52 Pickup Walk. You know, if that's the way Prince Philip walks, there ain't a doubt in my mind why the Queen makes him walk behind, I'll tell you that. You got all the lyrics right, too, Dick. Oh, yes. You know, everybody's talking about baseball here of late. The Yankees clinched the pennant, let's see, last Monday, I believe. And, of course, the Cardinals and Dodgers are still battling. We have something really that's kind of newer than new, because something that'll be making headlines 13 days from now, a gentleman who'll be pitching the first game of the World Series, a fine guy, a friend of mine, Mr. Whitey Ford. Where's Whitey? Hello, Jimmy. That's another thing my boy didn't think of. Gary, I told you I knew Whitey Ford. Whitey, it's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you,
I don't
Jimmy.
need to tell you that I'm a big Yankee fan, and it's a genuine pleasure to have you visiting with us. I got some questions I got on paper, because we put them down because if I didn't, I'd forget them. And there's some that I want to ask you. Oh, yeah, one thing right off the bat. You know the Dodger and the Cardinal thing. Who had you rather see win who had you rather play?
Well, Jim, we have about a $6,000 difference. If we play the Dodgers, we could stand to make about 14,000.
You don't need to say another word. I think I got what you're talking about. How many World Series have you appeared in?
This will be my 12th, Jim.
Mm-hmm. How many games have you pitched in those?
Well, I started about 18 or 19. I've won 10.
I see.
And, they come in real handy during the wintertime.
Now, wait a minute. Hey, now, what was it? Now, it's not on that paper, but you just established the winningest record of any pitcher who has ever been, right?
Well, that's a record that's was held by Spud Chandler, who used to pitch for the Yankees, and every once in a while I pass it. But when I lose a game, I got to win 3 more to get ahead of him again. So
All right. How do you think it's going to be with you and the Dodgers? It looks like it's going to be the Dodgers, right?
I think so, yes. They've won 3 straight now from the Cardinals, and I think we're going to have to play them. And I think it's going to be a nice World Series with...
How many games you going to play? How many?
I'd like to play 4. I'd like to come right home Sunday night.
Well, Whitey, I sincerely want to wish you and the rest of the Yankees all the luck in the world. You know I'm a fan and delighted.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you. I wish we'd had a little more time with Whitey, because he's got some funny stories he can tell you. You know, another thing that's brand new and everybody's just flipping over is a thing called gospel music. The same kind of music I used to listen to in the mornings when we was getting ready to go to church. And now then, they got it in nightclubs and just everywhere. And it's a very big new thing. So we kind of figured if you wanted gospel music, and that's the rage, that we'd give you the very finest. And I sincerely believe we have that in the person of a quartet called the Jubilee Four. Here they are.
Why don't you swing down, sweet chariot stomping, let me ride. Swing down, chariot stomping, let me ride. In a rocky Lord, come and easy. I got a home for me. Why don't you swing down, sweet chariot stomping, let me ride. Swing down, chariot stomping, let me ride. In a rocky Lord, come and easy. I've got a home for me. Well, Ezekiel was out in the middle of the field, and he saw the angel working on a chariot wheel. Wasn't too particular about the chariot wheel. He just wanted to see how a chariot feels. Why don't you swing down, sweet chariot stopping, let me ride. Swing down, chariot stopping, let me ride. Rock me, I've got a home for me. Well, march on board. As a chariot went bumping on down the road. Wasn't too particular about bumping down the road. He just wanted to lay down in the heavy load. Why not to swing down, sweet chariot, stop and let me ride. Swing down, chariot, stop and let me ride. Rock me, rock me. I've got a home on the other side. I've got my home.
When anything's good, I get chill bumps, and you'll be interested to know I just froze to death. That's great. They're going to be back a little bit later on to help us a little bit. We want to keep you up to date on what's new in the newspapers, too. And the funny papers. And Little Orphan Annie is in a mess of trouble, as usual. But we're not going to tell you about it or read it because we've got her right here in the studio. And I'd like you folks to say hello to Little Orphan Annie. Little Orphan Good evening, Little Orphan Annie. Old girl, what's new in your life?
Well, I just come from an all-night party at Alley-Oop's place. Yes, I am a little messy. Those parties are wild. You gotta look out for Mickey Mouse when he starts drinking that cheap wine, I'll tell you.
Well, what was the occasion, Annie?
Oh, did you know it's my birthday?
No.
I'm 51 today. Oh, I'll tell you, Jimbo, I was choked up when they brought out that birthday cake, and Dick Tracy cut it with his nose. It was a mess.
Didn't I read in a gossip column that said you're kind of romantically involved with some lucky young fella? Who is it?
Flash Gordon! Am I turning crimson? Yes, we're deeply in love.
Well, does that mean that you'll be middle-isling it soon, Annie?
Yes, Jim. It won't be long before I'll be known as Mrs. Little Orphan Gordon. Listen, Jim, gotta run now. See you in the funny paper. Stand said no
Well, I'm not. Our thanks to Little Orphan Annie and also to the boy who does it, and you mamas probably didn't recognize it, but that's a guy that your kids watch here in New York and on one of the kiddies show, Chuck McCann. He'll be back because he's a very talented young guy. Does lots of things wonderful. You want to see something new? Something new, my foot, but it really is. If you kind of follow me over here. You know, my granddaddy had a player piano, one of the big uprights, and you didn't see him around for a long, long time. But now you can go into any piano store, any music store, and they got oodles of these things, and they got rolls of most any kind of music that you want to buy. So we thought that we'd get one of these dadgum things, and you don't even have to pedal them anymore. They got a switch that you flip down here. We got Heart of My Heart all set up. And if we can get some of the kids in here, we'll just kind of have an old sing-song type thing. You ready? Let me flip this thing.
Sing a song.
All right, Dick.
Hope I can
All the electricity.
remember the words.
Heart of my heart, I love that melody. Heart of my heart, brings back a memory. When we were kids on the corner of the street, we were rough and ready guys, but oh how we could harmonize. Heart of my heart, are you away. When we were in on the motor runner street, we were rough and ready kind, but oh how we could harmonize to heart of my heart. Best friends were dearer then. Too bad we had to part. I know a tear would glisten if once more I could listen to that gang that sang heart of my heart. Once again, we'd like to call on the voices of the Jubilee Four and do one of the old-time gospel or inspirational songs for today. I am weak, but thou art strong. Jesus, keep me from a wrong. I'll be satisfied as long as I walk. Let me walk close to thee. In this world with toil and snare, if I falter, Lord, who cares? Who will all my burdens bear? None but thee, dear Lord, none but thee. Just a closer walk with thee. Just a closer walk with thee. Just a closer walk with thee. Granted, just a closer walk with thee. Just a closer walk with thee. Just a closer walk with thee. Daily walking close to thee. With thee, let it be, dear Lord, let it be. Let it be, dear Lord, let it be. I thank you very much for being with us on our first show. I hope that you enjoyed it. We'll be back again next week at the same time and the same place. Meanwhile, be good to the folks you know, because if it wasn't for them, you'd be total strangers. Good night.
Player piano by Hartman Peck. Hairstyles by Ernie Adler.